guys, how's it going? It's raining outside this afternoon and absolutely beautiful. This has been one of the most beautiful fall seasons I can remember, because usually we get some weird cold snap really early and it messes with the fall color. Sometimes it just completely has us miss the fall color because it freezes all the leaves to the trees and then they just turn brown and fall off. This year it's just like everything has been extra beautiful. Even the hydrangeas, they have colored up more beautifully than they ever have before. So I'm just thoroughly enjoying it, loving the rain today. We're about ready to have our sprinkler system blown out. So it's really nice to have a really deep soaking rain. We've had like multiple days in a row of rain, which is very atypical. Can you hear that? Oh. It's perfection. So Benjamin and I went on a cookie and coffee date earlier on today because last week was a rough one. You know, both kids were under the weather. Aaron was under the weather. It was just one of those weeks, you know, and Benjamin was so patient because Samantha was the worst. She had, you know, an ear infection and just the worst cough, and just, it's hard. It's hard to watch your babies be sick. And he was just trying to lighten the mood, trying to be super helpful, and just being a sweet boy like he is. And I just thought, oh, let's just go out and spend some time together. Anyway, so I was asking him if he wanted to do some baking this week, and he said he wanted to bake some sandwiches. I said, well, we can make some sandwiches, but would you like to do some baking, like bake a cake or cookies or brownies? And he got really intense and like close to my face and said, let's make gingerbread. I don't know where he's heard it said like that or if he's even tried gingerbread before. So anyway, that's what we're going to bake today. There's lots of little steps though, so I thought we could do a step or two and then pop out here and maybe get a container planted. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. The rain might keep on. It looks like it's letting up a little bit. So these are the pots that I thought about planting up. We need to fill them back up with soil. They had purple fountain grass and albrido coleus and a whole bunch of other things in them, but it ended up just pretty much coleus in the grass. But I got these beautiful fluffy arbs. I thought these would be so striking out here and bright, and maybe some purple cabbage and some other things. Right behind it, look at this. Can you believe it's almost November? We've got firelight hydrangeas, Supertunia Vista bubblegum, and silverberry mostly in here. Looking so good. Okay, but I think we'll head in and do step one on the gingerbread first. And I know that this really doesn't have much to do with gardening, but that's just what we do when it rains outside. And I did get an egg out of our chicken coop from Beverly. We're using Beverly's egg. Looks like Benjamin has left us a picture on the door. Excellent. Are you ready to do some gingerbread?
Yeah.
We got to get you a chair. So we'll go over some ingredients, but first, the recipes both came from southernliving.com. This is the old-fashioned gingerbread recipe, and then brown sugar and ginger whipped cream recipe. It's gonna be delicious. Oh yeah. Okay, so we've got flour, molasses. What's in here?
Salt.
Yeah, we got baking soda, cinnamon, nutmeg. What's this?
Salt.
That's not salt. What is that?
Pepper.
Yeah. And then we've got ground cloves, ground allspice, ground ginger. We've got dark brown sugar, light brown sugar, 1 egg, and we do need 1 cup of boiling water. So we're gonna get that going. Oh, we need butter. We need a 1/4 cup of butter. Who laid that egg?
Chicken.
Yeah, but who did? Which chicken?
And Beverly.
Yeah.
Beverly made the flour.
Yeah.
Beverly made the chicken.
And who made the chicken?
Jesus.
Yeah. First, we need to preheat to 350,
Smell this.
which means for my oven, 345.
Smell this.
Oh, yum, that smells delicious. So the first thing we need to do is whisk together the brown sugar and molasses, he's being silly, and also the boiling water and cubed butter. And then are you yawning back there? Benjamin, this is exciting stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, we mix that together until the butter melts, and then we'll whisk in the baking soda and salt. Then we're supposed to let it sit for 25 minutes to where it gets lukewarm, and then we start adding like the spices and stuff to it. Okay, we've got butter here, 1/4 cup of butter, so that means half of this, buddy. And so you start there.
Okay.
Let me move that out of the way. You got it, babe. See where I made the other indents? You can cut there, all the way to the bottom. Great job. Now cut again. Cut that piece in half. Oh, you got it all the way down. Good job. And it's ready. Good job, Eddie. You got it all cubed. That one's for the fridge, okay?
Now here, hard.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Can I just?
Yep, you can put that in the bowl. Good job.
Whoa. Oh, crap.
Whoa, good job. You want to hold that cup and I'm going to pour this in. Okay, hold it over the bowl. Oh, that smells good. Hold it tight. Okay, pour it in. You can whisk these together. That looks delicious. Now you can put in all of your cubed butter. Make sure to break it up like this. Make sure you break up the pieces that you have it cut. Okay, be very careful, okay, because this is very hot. So over the bowl. Okay. Good job. Okay, now we're going to just whisk until the butter melts. Okay, baking soda, we'll do 1 teaspoon. There you go.
Okay.
And then salt, we do half a teaspoon. There you go. Great job. Now stir it up.
Smell this.
Does it smell delicious?
Yeah, can I smell?
Yes. Let's let that chill for a little bit right here. Let's mix up all of our Woo! I almost dumped it. Let's mix up all of our spices. Okay, we need to do 2 teaspoons of ginger. 1, 2, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Okay.
Whoa.
Okay, now we need a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. Okay. 1/4 teaspoon of allspice. 1/4 teaspoon of cloves. Oh, and then we need to do black pepper. Great job. And then use your spoon to stir it all up. Great job. Now we'll do some flour.
A teaspoon.
Great job. And gently, like this, gently stir all those spices into the flour, okay? Oh!
We got a lot of shells.
We got a lot of shells. Yes, we did.
Go.
Oh! Good thing we washed that, huh?
Yeah.
I think we got them all. Okay, so we have all of the components sitting here already. And then we have our pan, which you're supposed to use a 9x9 square, but I don't have one. So this is, I don't know, like 11 inches by, what, like 7? It'll work. But most importantly, Benjamin has his new car. That's awesome, bud. And we've got ground ginger and light brown sugar. This will be for the whipped topping. So now we just need to mix these 2 things together, it looks like, and then we pour them into the pan and bake them at 350 for 20 to 25 minutes. This is easy. I think I lost Benjamin to M&Ms and cars. Okay, so dry ingredients into the wet. Oh, it smells so good. Doesn't that smell good, bud?
Yeah.
2/3, we did an extra 1/3 of a cup of water. Benjamin, I measured the water wrong. We have to mix this again. Oh man. It calls for 2/3 of a cup of boiling water, not a full cup. I was noticing that this, it looked quite runny, and I thought that is not gonna turn into a cake. Well, it probably wouldn't, so we're going to go back to the drawing board and mix this up one more time. Batch number 2. This is what it looks like when you forget to put your egg in the batter. for crying out loud. It smells amazing, and the little bits that stuck to the foil that I had over it tasted really good. But we're gonna try again. And I am going to use this opportunity to run and buy the proper size pan. I need a 9-inch by 9-inch square pan. And this is not the only recipe that I need that pan, like recipe that calls for that pan. So it'll be really nice to have the proper size. And if this third batch doesn't turn out, well then Benjamin is out of luck for his gingerbread. Is a 9-inch square pan kind of an odd size? Because I'm not finding it. I find 8-inch square, 11 by 7, 9 by 13, and that's pretty much it, and then a ton of round ones. I might just try the 11 by 7 again and just hope that the addition of the egg fixes my issue. All right, guys, it is the next day and 3 batches of gingerbread later. The third batch came out fairly late in the evening, and it's not perfect, but it turned out a lot better than the prior 2. It caved a tiny bit in the center, but it is firm. We're gonna go in and make the ginger whipped cream here in just a minute, but I didn't want to lose light today. I want to get those containers planted. So we're gonna start with that today, then we'll finish up with the gingerbread. Okay, so we're just gonna get these planted up, hopefully before whatever that is arrives, and then I'll show you how they look. All right, guys, so I have to interrupt for a quick second. I didn't realize until after this whole project was done and I was watching the video back that my camera stopped working. I didn't realize that I set it up and I was repotting the planters and all of that business, and it wasn't recording the entire time. And it also did not record when I made the whipped cream later on because I was using the same camera for that. So I'm missing those 2 portions of this video. So I wanted to apologize for that because you just saw the before of the pots. You're just about ready to see the after, but you're gonna miss all the planting and in between. So anyway, I did not realize that was going on, so I wanted to explain that. I typically try to keep our videos very much so more garden related than anything else, and we're kind of missing a big portion of that in this video. So I just wanted to kind of hop in and explain that. Enjoy the rest of the video. All done. I think they look really pretty. We're kind of carrying on our red, white, and pink theme, which was completely unplanned, but I ended up with kind of a lot of specific plants that were meant for a project I didn't end up doing, so I am utilizing them wherever I can. So fluffy arborvitae in the center. I love how bright and vibrant they are. Such a striking piece. Even if it was just by itself with pine cones around the base, I think it would be absolutely beautiful. Little lights, twinkle lights for Christmas time. Now they are a zone 5 through 8, so a little bit of a risk to try to winter these over in containers. However, I have pretty good luck with evergreens in containers over the winter. We typically have kind of bigger containers. I use 100% soil in there, no fillers. So they have quite a bit of insulation. I think the key is to make sure they have water. We have all of our containerized plants on an every 2-week watering schedule throughout the winter months. Sometimes we'll stretch it to 3 weeks if it's been particularly wet, but that's usually not the case. It's usually windy and dry. So we just come out here and splash a little water on them. Not enough to really like make them really wet, but just to keep them slightly moist. So around the base of these, we have the Snaptastic red snapdragons right there. We've got a beautiful cabbage, or kale. I didn't even look at the tag. Is that a kale? Probably. I call everything that's a kale a cabbage. And then white pansies, which again, I showed you what these look like in a past video. They're like really leggy and gangly, but when you tuck them in, they don't look half bad. These looked a little bit better. They were a little bit more tight, more compact, but I think it's just really pretty, bright, and fresh. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in and we are going to make the ginger whipped cream for our gingerbread, and Benjamin and I are going to hopefully be able to sit down and enjoy it. I'm gonna make a cup of coffee. It looks like we beat whatever is coming our way. It looks like we're supposed to get rain, so that's what it looks like. Looking a little dark up there. We had blue sky earlier, look at that. Beautiful. Okay, so here's the gingerbread. Oh, also I'm making apple cider bellinis on Sunday. That's what this is for. But anyway, gingerbread right here. For the most part, it looks really good. See how it sunk a little bit in the center, but it's still firm. So I think we'll be okay. Benjamin, look at our gingerbread. Doesn't that look good? Smell it. Doesn't that smell so good? Delicious. I was reading the recipe and it actually said that after you get it out of the oven, you should let it cool for 1 hour and then wrap it in plastic wrap or foil or whatever and let it set overnight, because the texture improves if you let it sit that long. So it actually worked out perfect that this project ended up taking 2 days. So for our brown sugar and ginger whipped cream, we use 1/4 cup of brown sugar, light brown sugar. We use 1 cup of heavy cream, 1/2 teaspoon of ground ginger, and 2 teaspoons of vanilla. And we're just gonna use our hand mixer to whip it up in this bowl. All right, guys, so as always, I popped outside because the lighting is just better out here. I just wanted to show you what this looks like. So even though, like right here, it did kind of indent, it caved in a bit, it's still like the same consistency in here as it is in here. There's no gooiness about it, which is awesome. Uh-oh, it's starting to rain. I better hurry. When I added the extra stuff into the cream, it did make it pretty heavy, and it could be an over-whipped sort of situation, but it tastes really good. A little bit different than the original recipe, though. In that I did add extra spices, and I guess it's kind of a good thing that I messed up the second time because it baked up enough without the egg around the edges for me to be able to try it. And like the smell was amazing, but the taste just wasn't enough. And I mean, I could probably even add more than I did just now, but that's kind of personal preference. So like it calls for 2 teaspoons of ground ginger. I added an extra 3/4 of a teaspoon. A teaspoon of ground cinnamon, I added 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. A 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, I added an extra 1/8 of a teaspoon, and an extra 1/8 of a teaspoon of all the rest, the allspice, cloves, and the black pepper. So I could have actually kicked that up a little bit more, and I would have still really enjoyed it. I like strong flavors in most everything. So anyway, super good though, even though, I don't know, maybe the 9-inch pan rather would have baked it up a little bit better. My oven's weird too though, like I always have to go 5 or 10 degrees cooler than the baking temperature that it calls for, otherwise it burns the bottom. And we haven't looked into it because we are planning a kitchen renovation and I want to get a nice oven. So we're just dealing with this one until we can replace it, which is totally fine. So anyway, I just deal with a little bit of inconsistencies in baking especially. Like when I make cookies, I have to put a cookie sheet underneath on like the rack beneath to kind of, I don't know, like absorb some of the heat, and it makes it to where the bottoms of the cookies don't burn. I have it kind of figured out though. Kind of. So that's going to be it for today's video, something a little bit different. And typically when we do recipes, we try to keep it garden centered, you know, things that we have harvested. But I just thought it was so cute that Benjamin wanted gingerbread, and I'm kind of getting into the spirit anyway. I have a tree set up. I'm not going to lie. I have a tree set up for a reason. I'm going to be decorating it this week, and I will film it. But we are taking the kids' pictures, Benjamin with his cousins, on Halloween, because we're all getting together for Christmas, my mom's Christmas card. She bought them all Christmas jammies, so she asked if I would set a Christmas tree up, and I'm more than happy to oblige. So it's up, it's not decorated yet, so we'll do that later this week, and it's just making me feel like all excited for the holidays. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you in the next video.